Welcome back to The Meantime, episode 71 on idobi Radio. I'm your host, Jared Gaines, and we are back in the bedroom, back in my stinky little bedroom. How do you feel about being back in the stinky little bedroom, Pat?
Babe, can we not do this? I really don't want to do this.
I said, how do you feel about being back in the stinky little bedroom, Pat?
Can I at least take the wig off? It's really itchy.
Well, that's too damn bad!
What is wrong with you? No, what's wrong with you? No, what's wrong with you?
And that's the bottom line.
I'm doing Normandy alone!
Am I gonna punch you right in the fucking mouth? Is this the time where we fight?
Rope on the top rope. Satan can't believe his eyes. You're all worried I'm gonna clone and kiss myself. The guys from The Meantime look like two Tony Hawk characters you fucked up.
The Meantime. Why do you have to be so mean?
We'd like to thank our patrons who support us every single month in and month out. You can join the Patreon at patreon.com/themeantime. We have a whole show on there called Time After Time. It's a whole nother hour of The Meantime just on Patreon. We also do weekly live streams that you can come and check out and hang out with us and have fun. You can join the Discord. We're hanging out in there. We're always doing fun stuff in there at discord.gg/themeantime. You can listen to Pat's band, Not My Weekend. They're on tour, but Pat's here. How do you feel about that, Pat? Pat feels pretty good about that. You could tell because he's still here and not on tour with his band. And you can listen to Rat Park, which is my band. We don't really do anything. And enjoy the episode, guys. We're here back in the stinky room. Welcome back to The Meantime. Me, nothing, just hanging out. What about you? How's the family? How's the mother? How's the father? Still alive? I hope so. Me, I'm just kind of chilling. Me and Pat have been hanging out every single day because Pat would never leave me. He would never go on tour and leave me out here all by myself. So me and Pat have been hanging out every single day. Isn't that right, Pat?
I'm not fucking doing it.
Oh, Pat, you fucking idiot. No, we've been hanging. It's been good. I've been breaking a lot of traffic laws lately. I don't know if anybody else has been breaking traffic laws as much as me. I think that when the sun goes down, it's fair game. As soon as the sun dips below the horizon and there's no cops around, I'm just going to break whatever law I feel like breaking. I'm going to be a completely reckless and rageful driver, I think. The main thing I've been doing is, you know the four-lane streets where 2 lanes are going this way and the 2 lanes are going the other way and they got the median in the middle? Sometimes there's a break in the median and you need to turn left or you need to make a U-turn, but there's that nasty little sign. That says no left turn, no U-turn. And at nighttime, 3 a.m. on a Taco Bell trip, mind your business. No cops around. I'm drunk driving. I'm pulling a fifth of whatever I got under the seat out, and I'm going for a joyride. That's what I'm talking about. Just breaking minor traffic laws when no one's looking. You know, how about when you enter a roundabout? We don't have a lot of those in America. You enter a roundabout, and your exit is the one closest to you on the left. Like you go counterclockwise on the roundabout. And then you have to get to the one kind of closest to you. And there's nobody around. There's nobody on the roundabout. There's no cameras. It's late at night. You know what I mean? Maybe instead of going right on the roundabout, you unload a full clip into a nearby Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean? Just breaking minor traffic laws when nobody is around to catch you. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Or construction zones. You know when they're doing construction on the highway, but then they leave their construction up because they have to go home overnight, but the construction's still there, and it says construction zone, slow down. You know, there's nobody around. It's the middle of the night, construction zone. You don't see any workers. You know, it says to slow down to like 55. I'm jerking off with my driver's side door open. That's what I'm doing. Breaking minor traffic laws. That's been my go-to. What kind of minor traffic laws do you break? Leave it down in the comments. Thank you. Pat, what kind of minor traffic laws do you break? Oh, well, you don't really drive, do you? No, you're not really much of a driver. When me and Pat were on tour together, we didn't really split up the driving roles that much. I kind of drove most of it because I was too scared to let anybody else drive. And there were weird rules. They were like, okay, well, Pat can't drive because he's the worst driver of all time and he drives like 60 miles under the speed limit and we won't get there. And Nick can't drive because he's too scared and he'll wobble the wheels. And Noah can't drive because he's wasted. And so I took it on myself to drive most of the tour. But now we don't have to worry about that because me and Pat are home here and Not My Weekend is going on tour without him, and we're hanging out like because we're best buddies and we're hanging out. Don't give me that face. Okay. Hey, how the fuck do you guys feel about seahorses? I saw a video of a seahorse the other day, and it just kind of dawned on me that that's a weird fucking little alien creature that lives in the ocean. That it kind of freaked me out. It was like, okay, watch a male seahorse give birth. First off, that's wrong, right? The only creature on Earth where the male gets pregnant and gives birth, right? So obviously some wires got crossed down the line, but the main thing is, like, you're watching the seahorse give birth to millions of little seahorses, and you realize that's a seahorse. It's got a little horse face. Do you know any other fish that has a little horse face? Hey, do you know any other fish that, like, goes fucking vertically through the water? Is there any other fish that stands up underwater and propels itself and has a little horse face? Do you know any other thing? It's got a lot of firsts aside from getting it. So I think it might be a little alien. I think that maybe seahorse came before the regular horse. Actually, I'm 100% confident that that's true. Yeah, I never thought about how fucking crazy the concept of a seahorse is before looking at a seahorse give birth in, like, a very explosive way. It was crazy. If I had to give birth like a seahorse, well, I kind of give birth like a seahorse every night. Never mind. I guess it's not that crazy. And Pat has a horse face, so that's not.
Actually, I don't really like how mean you are to Pat.
He's a good sport. No, last week was really rough. I felt really rough last week. It was really nerve-wracking to do the episode in the way that we did it. But this week I kind of feel chill. I feel at ease. I got a massage recently, and I said to the guy, I booked a massage, and they have you fill out this form about the pressure that you want, the problem areas that you're experiencing. And I think it's really cool that massage places, like, no other place kind of does this. A massage place will ask you what you want and ignore it completely. It's like the only place that I can think of that outright ignores all of your requests. It's crazy. Like, I wrote down, like, I've been a little sore for my job. I sit down a lot. I'm sitting in the chair, and then I go home, and then I sit in a chair to edit the podcast episodes. And I'm like, yeah, I sit in a chair a lot. My feet are a little swollen because I'm not really walking around a lot. So when I do walk, they get swollen up. So it'd be really nice to take some pain and some stress out of my lower back and my feet. That'd be cool. And if you could just use light to medium pressure, that'd be sick. And then the dude, like, used his elbow. This is for fucking real. He used his elbow and some oil to go, like, as deep as he possibly could into, like, my upper back, and sliced up all my muscles there and in my calves. He didn't spend a lot of time on my feet at all. And he was this gigantic dude. He was this huge dude named Kevin. And he was this massive, massive, brawny man, like the brawny guy from the paper towels. He was a huge motherfucking guy. And I didn't want to be like, hey, Kevin, you're kind of ignoring all the things I was asking for. I said light to medium pressure on my lower back and feet, and you're kind of jamming your elbow into my spine and sciatic nerve. And so I just kind of let it happen. But before we got in there, he was like, hey, do you want to tell me what's going on? I was like, yeah, I sit down, lower back and my feet. And he's like, oh, you sit down a lot. That's probably going to be some glute work, if that's okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm comfortable. That's cool. My mom was a massage therapist. She's a licensed massage therapist. So I get it. It's a human body. And yeah, I do have some tightness. So glutes are fine. It's totally cool. Then Kevin took a lot of liberties. Kevin was going places that I didn't think Kevin was comfortable going. I didn't know that Kevin felt so open with me. I'm glad that I gave such an open and inviting vibe that Kevin felt so comfortable with placing his hands on my gooch. He basically took his elbow and he ran it from my Achilles tendon all the way up my calf, all the way up my thigh, morphed it down to his hand, moved his hand and thumb directly up to my butt cheek where my pelvis bone is. And that means that his hand was kind of cupping the inside of my butt crack. You know what I mean? And he did that motion pretty firmly, like 12 times in a row. And I was thinking to myself, like, Kevin's got me all oiled up. Kevin's all oiled up. I thought that was weird. Kevin oiled himself up for the massage. And I was like, all right, well, you don't usually see that. But, maybe he wants to just be extra oily so that, like, if he's putting out, maybe he's doing, like, one of those, like, Nuru massages that you hear about. You hear about those on those, like, really legitimate massage sites, the Nuru massage. Maybe he's just giving me a Nuru. So I was like, Kevin, a Nuru specialist, just drenched himself in oil and then drenched me in oil and decided to run his hands all the way up the length of my ankle, all the way up to my butt. And I thought to myself, for real, I was like, if he pops a finger in, I'm not going to say anything. Kevin is so big and oiled up. There's not much I could do. And if it slides in, I'm just going to have to accept that. I'm going to have to accept that that's what my afternoon's going to be. You know, there's not much I can do about that. And then he also, later on in the massage, he was taking his knuckles and doing like a knuckle rotational kind of deal on the back of my neck. And I was crying. And he said, is the pressure okay, Jared? And I was like, yeah, maybe if you could come down the pressure a little bit. And then he stopped talking altogether because the whole time he was checking in on me. He's like, is this okay, Jared? Is this okay, Jared? And I was like, it's fine, Kevin. Yeah, it's fine. And then he was up on my neck and I was like, yeah, maybe you can come down a little pressure. He stopped talking, went fully nonverbal and went like a little bit harder. And I was like, okay, well, fuck me then. Actually, well, please don't, actually. I'd actually like to leave. And then we got done and he never, I asked for a couple things. I asked for lower back, I asked for feet, and I asked for a head massage. He didn't touch my head, but he did get a lot of oil in my hair, which I thought was interesting. Like, he didn't give me a head massage, but he did like put a bunch of oily hands like in my hair and like kind of oil up the back of my mullet. So that was pretty uncomfortable, and I was a little too scared to leave a negative review in case he would have seen it, and I don't know if they have my information. So yeah, so that's what usually happens when you go get a massage. It happens every single time, actually. You know, a lot of people don't think that massage is legit. A lot of people think it's like a pseudoscience, and it's not. It's a real thing. You know what is a pseudoscience? It's fucking chiropractors. That shit is not real, and they've helped me one time, and still it's black magic. It's not real. It's fucking snake oil. You ever see those videos of the chiropractors using that little gun that just makes a clicking noise? And that's all it does? It just makes a clicking noise. You're like, yeah, we're popping. So what do you think you're popping? Because the gun goes snap, 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 snap. So don't put that on my neck and pretend that my neck is going snap, snap, snap. I know it's the gun doing that. You know, like the chiropractor brought it up. You're like, oh, I got this gun, snap, snap, snap. And then he went snap, snap, snap. And I was like, you just showed me in real time that does it by itself. You're not doing anything. You know what I mean? And then they'll like adjust somebody, like make a big adjustment and crack someone. Like, how do you feel? They're like, that feels crazy. And they're like, see? Like, no, it feels crazy because that person can't walk and you just snapped a bunch of their joints and now they still can't walk but feel interesting. I went one time, I woke up. It was probably like 2018. I woke up and my head was stuck to the side and I couldn't figure it out. It was just locked up. And I went to the joint chiropractic in my area. And I called ahead and I was like, hey, I just woke up. I can't really move my neck. I was hoping that you guys could. I didn't know anything about chiropractors. And like I said, my mom was a massage therapist. And I just felt like maybe this was a chiropractor thing. Like, you know, like before you do a chiropractor, you don't really know what they're for. So I was like, maybe I'll go over there. And did the dude crack my neck all the way to the opposite direction? Yes. Did my neck regain function? Yes. Did he then adjust the rest of my body for no reason and changed nothing about my daily routine? Yeah. Did he try to sell me a package? For sure he did. They always, like, you get in there and they're like, hey, we fixed that one thing, but it's going to come back unless you come every single week for $75 a session and really keep an eye on it. And then he like cracked my neck back. I'm thinking like my neck my muscles probably just got stiff and he just forced it over and they were like, oh no, we're back. And he was like, see, I fixed you. And I'm like, you kind of did the same thing I do to like a computer, you know, when it's not fucking working. I just like Control Shift Escape and force quit the thing. You know what I mean? If it's not working, if Skate, the worst game of all time, Skate 4, is not loading on the PS5, then I shut the whole fucking thing off and then I open it back up. You know, you forced it. You forced it like a caveman. Your profession is much like a caveman, you know, because it's brutish and requires no nuance. Yeah. That's what I think about. That's what I think about medicine. One time I passed out while I was playing a show. I got a heat stroke while playing a show at a festival in Texas, and the show was so hot. I was playing this black guitar. Well, you can't see it. I was playing my black guitar, and it was becoming hard to play the strings because the strings were heating up and it was burning my fingers. It was really tough, and it's a big black matte finish. My arm was resting on it and like burning, and I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I had a whole song I had to sing. I beefed it. It wasn't good. And then I got off stage, put my shit down, walked past a bunch of like bands that I thought were really cool, and it was like, I think I'm gonna go throw up. And then I walked to the medical tent, and then I woke up later. Like I walked to the medical tent. I was like, there's the medical tent. And the next thing I knew, I was like waking up, getting up out of the medical tent and walking away. I was like, how long have I been out? They're like, yeah, you threw up. And I was like, okay, cool. Passed out from heat stroke. And in that medical tent were like a bunch of like first responders. What the fuck am I trying to say? Like I don't know. They were the ambulance guys. It was the ambulance guys in there. And there was a chiropractor in the corner. And I was like, do you not feel like a guinea pig amongst pigs? You know? Do you not feel like a Dr. Thunder in a room of Dr. Peppers? You know what I mean? Do you not feel like a Fruity Dino Bites in a room full of Fruity Pebbles? Don't you feel like the odd man out? Don't you stick out like a sore thumb, which you couldn't do shit about because the practice that you practice doesn't heal anything? You don't need to know how to apply a Band-Aid to pretend that you know how to crack people's joints. It's crazy. You know what's the most damning thing about a chiropractor? Is that one doctor who cracked all the knuckles on one hand and not the other, and nothing changed. Over the course of like 52 years, nothing changed in either one of his hands because all he's doing is just popping air bubbles in his joints. That's all chiropractors are doing. You could do the same thing over 52 years and nothing is changing. Oh, you silly guys. What do I know? I have a podcast. I don't know anything about anything. Well, it's been a fun week, to be honest. Me and Pat have been hitting the old dusty trails, going and seeing the sights. What was your favorite thing to see so far, Pat?
I can't believe that he wears this stuff like every day.
That was my favorite thing too. You got to cool it with the talking though. You're taking up most of the episode. We went to Chili's last night with a certain Australian person that you guys probably wouldn't know, and we're introducing this Australian person to a lot of new American concepts like the Triple Dipper and Dodgers baseball, and we were trying to explain the game of baseball to them, and we were like, yeah, so basically this game is that one team goes up and they try to bat the ball around the bases. And the other team is pitching the ball and trying to catch whatever comes off the bat. Kind of a simple game. And then we got down into the nitty-gritty of stuff because somebody threw a clear strike and the ump called it as a ball. And they were wondering, hey, how come we were able to see with cameras in real time that was a strike and the umpire just got to say it's a ball? And we're like, oh, so the umpire exists to just kind of make the game wrong? Like the role of the umpire in baseball is to provide a sort of human inaccuracy to a game that's already filled with flaws. You know, so what they provide to the game is just like being wrong. Because like when they're right, they're just as right as the computer is, and when they're wrong, but the computer was right. So the only time there's a discrepancy is when they're wrong. So their whole job is to just be wrong, genuinely. So we were explaining all this and we were trying to go like it, but it's other than that, like it's a pretty basic game to kind of comprehend. And they're like, when does it end? I was like, usually it goes to 9 innings, but sometimes there's like an overtime kind of deal. It can go to extra innings. That game ended up going to 18 innings. It was tied for the most innings that a baseball game has ever gone to in the World Series. And the Dodgers won. They walked away with the dub on that one, thank goodness. But yeah, it was a lot of new concepts like fried mozzarella and Shohei Ohtani and $6 margaritas. There was a lot of things that we learned. We learned a lot of stuff about ourselves that night as well.
Yeah, I learned that Race drinks like a bitch.
You're right. Our waitress was from West Virginia. Thanks for bringing that up, Pat. Yeah, we had a waitress who clocked our Australian friend's accent and was like, "Oh, did you just move here? Are you from here? Or like, what's going on?" And we're like, "Oh, we're just showing them the American way. We're showing them the American dream, the Chili's Triple Dipper." And she was like, "Oh, I just moved here myself." And I was like, "Oh, where'd you move from?" And she went, "West Virginia." And I went, "West Virginia." And she was like, "Ha ha." And I was like, "Oh, you must have never heard that one before." She's like, "No, I hear that all the time." And it was really awkward, and I didn't know what to do. So I robbed the place, and I took her as a hostage. And yeah. Oh, and then the Dodgers won the game. It was a really fun night. That's what I've been doing lately, just kind of going out and seeing the town, being out on the town, experiencing the LA nightlife. You know what my favorite thing to do to experience the LA nightlife is to walk outside and smell skunk from somewhere, step in human shit, and watch this guy walk his off-leash German Shepherd at fucking 11 p.m. And have it bark really super loud at me until I walk the other way. That's the LA nightlife. That's the LA nightlife I'm talking about. You know, we talk about seeing the sights. Going and getting on the street, meeting people. How about a grown man who's smoking cigarettes really close to people's front doors with an off-leash German Shepherd the size of a goddamn small bear, who barks really super loud and aggressively and goes up and down the street probably 50 meters in front of dude or behind dude at all times while the dude does not care and talks to any girl that walks by, you know? One time, genuinely, this is a real story, and I hope he fucking sees this, man. One time I saw him break into his own house. I don't know his name. I don't know anything about him. I call him the off-leash German Shepherd guy. I'm walking home. I see a man scrambling up the side of an apartment. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then a German Shepherd running at me. Just, I was like, oh, God. I got down the street and I was like about to call 911. And I was like, but fuck the cops, though. What am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. So instead, I just took a video and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. But hopefully I can get this. Maybe I could take this video and show it to my landlord and try to negotiate smaller rent. By the way, we just got another rent increase. That's right. We've been going on the podcast for over a year because a year ago I was like, hey, look who got their rent increased. It was me. Yeah, we just got a rent increase, and the document itself was really interesting because the document itself said, hey, according to these bylaws and these standards and these local codes, it says we have to wait this amount of time to raise your rent, and we can only raise your rent by this much. So we are raising your rent as soon as we're legally allowed to, by the most we're legally allowed to. That was what the paper said. Instead of saying hey, we've made some changes to the apartment, we've updated some things, some features, some safety stuff, installed some new cameras maybe because my roommate's car got broken into pretty severely one time, and people hop the fence all the time. We hear people out there shuffling through and trying car handles. Instead of a paper that says, hey, we know all the problems with our property and we're going to try to fix them, it said we waited the shortest legal amount of time to raise your rent by the maximum legal amount. So, yeah, we got to get the fuck out of here now. Because now it's we've lived here for a few years. The biggest scam in the world is living in an apartment for a few years. Because you'll see your apartment's rent go up to skyrocket by such an amount that you look at similar rents in the same apartment complex as yours that are $600 cheaper. And you're like, hey, what the fuck? What do you do? They're running specials on new apartments where someone can get a year of their lease be $600 less for the exact same apartment in my apartment complex. So they're punishing me for paying my rent for them for so long. The only way to get by, I think, is to spend a year at every apartment that you live at in LA. That's the only way I can imagine. I'll be transparent about it. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment that's now going for $3,000 a month. $3,000 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. Can you fucking imagine that shit? And I'm going I'm gonna live here for $3,000 a month? And there's apartments in the same complex that are going for 24? I'm going to have to just up and move around every single year and just get those intro deals from every single apartment. How the fuck is that a sustainable thing? I know we don't like to get political on here, Pat. But I just need to get this off my chest, man. That is messed up. That is super messed up. I don't want to get political, dude, but that's fucked up, man. I'm not trying to get political on here, but the way that people raise rent, that's fucking messed up, man. That's fuck. Just think, we're people, you know? This is standard podcast stuff, by the way. We're getting into standard podcast territory. We're getting into dumb white guy who only has a loose grasp on politics. Start commenting on things that only affect him for the first time. This is the character. You ready? I just got a rent increase, dude. And I just think it's so fucked up that someone who just owns the house that I'm living in gets to raise my rent just to pay their mortgage. I just think that's so messed up. What happened to loving your fellow man? Like, what happened to like being a community? What happened to community, man? Whoa. I just went to McDonald's for the first time in a long time because I've been on a health journey, and I ordered a McDouble, and it was really small, and I feel like I remember it being bigger. Like, that's messed up, man. They're charging you more money to pay for a smaller sandwich? That's messed up, dude. That's greedy on like a corporate level. That's like corporate greed, you know? That's messed up, man. Like, they shouldn't be able to do that. Dude, I moved into an apartment and I have a black roommate now, and he was saying that he got pulled over and the cop like pulled his gun out on him. Bro, that's messed up. Tyler is such a nice dude. Just a dude who's having things affect him for the first time. This guy's 22 years old, and he's having things finally affect him for the first time as a girl. I just got my paycheck. Dude. Why am I paying all this money? Like, I was told that I make like $2,000 a month, right? And then I look at my paycheck, and I made like $1,350. Like, what are they taking my money out for? Like, what are they paying for? Hey, man, I just looked up the budget, the U.S. budget, to see where my tax dollars were going. Yo, why am I paying for nuclear warheads? I work at Taco Bell. Bro, that's messed up. They should be using my money to, like, fix the roads. Hold on, let me go in the opposite direction. Here's a real podcast bit. This is genuinely where podcasting is going nowadays. Bro, I just got my paycheck, and I was supposed to be making $2,000 a month, but I'm making $1,350. You're telling me that $650 is going to the immigrants? That's fucked up, man. That's really fucked up, dude. I should be making way more, and the immigrants are taking my money? It says right here, Social Security and California tax and federal tax. You're telling me that the immigrants are taking my tax? That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. And I believe in God. And that's another thing that I'm really all about on my podcast. This is what... So here, what I would genuinely do, this is a real thing I would actually do. I would genuinely start a fake podcast where I was that guy. I'd make a satirical character that was that dude in like a Colbert Report kind of way, where I make a podcast, it's a solo dude, and I'm playing a character that should I do that? Wait, is this a dope idea? Wait, hold on. Is this a dope idea that's been done a million times, but I haven't done it yet, so therefore it's genius? Hold on. What if I made a satirical podcast where I got to get my political stuff out, and I don't get to, Pat doesn't have to worry anymore, right, Pat? Yeah, I know. It's scary. Yeah, I get to get my stuff out, my political stuff, and I can play a character that disagrees with everything that I'm about. Yo, those protesters or rioters had a right to get tear gassed in the street. Like, dude, I'm trying to get to work. You're gonna block the road? Like a guy that doesn't know shit about shit. I think that's a pretty good idea. What's this guy's name? I wonder. His name's Tyler probably, or like KYLER. What if it was like KYLER Brantley? His name's KYLER Brantley. I could be KYLER Brantley. What if hey, the rest of this podcast is brought to you by KYLER Brantley. I'd have to get rid of my mullet, but here it is. Here's KYLER Brantley. I was just thinking, like, I went to the store and I was picking up my food. I was picking up my food from the store. I was grabbing groceries for my meal prep this week. And the lady in front of me was like a mother, and she had like 3 kids. First off, if you have 3 kids, you're completely busted at that point. Like, in this economy, if you're not making 6+ figures, you need to not be having children. Honestly, they should genuinely test people to have children nowadays. They should really make you pass a test, like just like a general competency test, you know, like spelling and shit. And I see this woman, and she's in front of me. She's got 3 kids, and she pulls out a food stamps card. If that doesn't tell you all that you need to know about America right now, like this mother who has 3 kids, like, hey, why did you have 3 kids if you couldn't afford to feed them? You know what I mean? Plus, you have 3 kids, and they're being rambunctious, and you're taking a long time, and I have to get home because The Last of Us season 2 is on. And I need to know what happens to Ellie because I can't play the game. God, it's just did she look like an immigrant? No, but she probably was because she was on food stamps. And there's a Venn diagram, you know? Like the odds of her being an immigrant because she was on food stamps is actually higher, you know? And that's another immigrant taking away stuff that I should have. Not that I need food stamps because I make plenty of money because I sell a course online. But I'm just saying, like the whole Brantley family, heir to the Brantley fortune, of course. We had to make our own way in the world. We had to make our own stuff. No one just handed us a trust fund until we were 18. We had to wait all that time up until we were 18. We had to make our way through the world ourselves. Just by the skin of our teeth and the Gucci of our slippers did we have to make our way through. And I really can't stand to see somebody struggling in front of me because we got the same 24. We all got the same 24, man. That mother struggling with 3 children did not have to have those children, you know? And, you know, maybe sometimes I don't need a smoothie from Erewhon, you know? But because I worked so hard, I earned it. And if you worked as hard as me and had 3 less kids, you could maybe afford an Erewhon smoothie. That's all I'm saying. KYLER Brantley, everybody. That was my name, right? KYLER Brantley. I think the KYLER Brantley report would be a really cool podcast. This will be the test episode for the KYLER Brantley report. Drop in the comments below if you want the KYLER Brantley report to be a full-time show. I got this. I'll do a whole scripted show. Who wants a second podcast from KYLER Brantley? So I asked the people of Patreon to give me some stuff that they were struggling with so I could help them and give them advice.
You're telling me people wanted advice from you.
Oh, you think KYLER Brantley should answer the advice column?
That is not what I was saying at all.
I think that's a fantastic idea, Pat. Let's do it.
God damn it.
This is the KYLER Brantley advice column. All right, first up is Coconut. Coconut says, hey, Jared, as you're aware, I'm trying to finish up my degree in criminal justice with a concentration being forensics, and I deal with horrible time management and find it hard to balance work, school, and my relationship. How can I adjust my schedule so I can have time for all? Unfortunately, you're not asking Jared. You're asking KYLER Brantley, and KYLER Brantley says exactly what he said to the mother of 3. We have the same 24. You know what I mean? If I'm able to juggle my podcast, my a brand management company, my creative direction consultancy company, time with my family to go to vacations, you know, time spent in transit from A to B, you know, like I got to get a lot of Ubers. I order a lot of Uber Eats, you know what I mean? Like that's a lot of stuff to deal with during the day, like self-maintenance, you know, waking up at 3 a.m. to do cardio for an hour and then eat a breakfast that's high in macros. That's hard to do. So you should be able to do it because I'm able to juggle all those things myself. You know what I mean? If I'm able to do it, me, KYLER Brantley, then you should be able to do it, you, Coconut. George says, so I got 2 things. How do I get better at interviews? And I've been ghosted 3 times this month by potential partners. Can you tell me why? Now, I think it's important to ask 2 questions. The reason for that is it's aggressive, and that's a sales tactic, okay? So what I think is to get better at interviews, you have to ooze confidence. You have to secrete confidence, I think. I think when you walk into the room, you should be sopping wet with confidence. You should be leaking confidence out of every hole in your body. You should just be like confidence should be falling and dripping out of your body at all times. You need to look at yourself and you need to go like, who am I? What are my goals? How will I accomplish them? What am I having for lunch? And have I hydrated today? And that's how you'll crush an interview. You crush interviews by crushing the interviewer with your confidence. That should be leaking out of you. Number 2 is I've been ghosted 3 times this month by potential partners. Can you tell me why? It's probably because your dick's small. It's probably because you have a small dick, unless you don't have a dick, in which case you have a large vagina. And everybody knows you want large dick, small vagina. And if you're not hitting that ratio, you can have work done. I personally have had work done. I've had work done on my situation. They said they did what they could. you know? And if you're not at least doing what you can, then I don't think that you're doing everything you need to do to be a man. If you're a man. Kyler Brantley's going to get me into the weeds here. Ren says, I've got my first college party this weekend, so I need to know, how do you talk to a girl at a party? Well, first off, you need to ooze confidence out of every pore of your body. What I like to do is I like to tell my boys, I see a girl at a party, and I like to tell my boys, I go, hey, dibs, all right? And what that lets my boys know is that this person is now my property for the remainder of the evening, okay? And like feral alpha wolves, every single one of them, I roll with a deadly bunch of boys. And they're all feral alpha or sigma wolves. But they respect the pack hierarchy, you know? If everyone's an alpha or a sigma, then everyone's in charge at all times. And if I stake my claim on a human person who doesn't know I exist yet, then they know that I'm asserting dominance like an alpha is, and they will respect that opinion. So then I walk up to the girl who doesn't even know that she's mine yet, okay? And then I walk up, and that's the thing. It's all about confidence. Like, she doesn't even know that you own her yet, and you do. So you have the upper hand. You have the advantage. And talking to women is all about leverage and advantage. You know, you have to leverage whatever you can on that woman to make them go home with you. And it's all about gaining the upper hand. So you walk up with your upper hand gained with your leverage, and you basically force her to be with you. And that's what Kyler Brantley says. Pat is freaking out right now. Emmy Veen says, I hate my job. The job market sucks, and my degree wasn't worth the debt. Should I just become a trad wife? Listen, I am both vehemently opposed to what you just said and in complete agreement with what you said. First off, quit bitching. We have the same 24, all right? A new t-shirt, the same 24, coming soon. We have the same 24. Me and you are basically the same person. We've had the same life experience because we're all people on Earth. Now, when you stopped bitching and said you'd become a trad wife, that's something that was attractive to me because you're finding value in the place where you're supposed to be. You know what I mean? And that's in being a traditional wife. So I think yes, but definitely stop bitching. Thomas says, is it worth it for me to continue nursing school, or should I just say fuck it and go to med school from a fucked up college kids? Well, I couldn't help notice that your name is Thomas and you're saying nursing school. And that is kind of gay. So what I will say is go to med school so you can be a doctor, because boys are doctors and girls are nurses. And that's everything that I've learned from my life experience up until now. I just think that maybe you messed that up somewhere along the way. Cece says, I recently bleached my buzz cut and it looks dope, but I was going to grow my hair back into a mullet. Help me choose between the bleached buzz, colored buzz, or growing my mullet. How about you grow a haircut that'll get you a job? Huh? Quit with all this trying to feel free in your own skin, trying to feel comfortable with yourself, confident in yourself, doing whatever makes you feel beautiful and accepted and validated in your own life. Get yourself a nice cut and get yourself a job. Huh? Then you won't have to worry about what this Jared guy thinks about what you should do, which is a mullet. Ezra says, I've intentionally stayed single for about a year after my worst breakup. I freshly started seeing someone great, but as present as I try to be, I can't seem to shake the feeling of waiting for the other shoe to drop. Any advice for trusting that a good thing can just be a good thing? Ezra, you said something important, which was that you were Volcel for 1 year. Now, if being Volcel is really good for God purposes, but it also crushes your pussy game. So what you're going to want to do is practice crushing puss before you get any women around you or whatever person you're trying to be with. I don't want to assume. This is going to be a really hard character for me to play. Whatever person you're around. You're basically going to want to crush puss no matter what person you're going to be around next afterwards. That way, you won't be wondering if the other shoe is going to drop, right? Because you've already dropped sex into puss prior. And I don't know, maybe a good thing's just a good thing. Jenny says, what games do you guys recommend I play, preferably on Game Pass or PS Plus? I recommend you play the game of life, and I'm not talking about the board game. Put the video games down and start working on your KPIs. Gabby says, how does one deal with the crippling stress and anxiety of everyday life? I like to vape. I like to vape and find new vape flavors, and I like to bounce between a vape and a Zyn. So whichever one you decide you want to do, go Zyn to vape, vape to Zyn, Zyn to vape to Zyn. Whichever one you want, whichever combination of those things you have to do to like go through life in a functional way. I like to go Zyn vape, Zyn, Zyn vape. And that's just throughout my day, like kind of once, like hourly, I'll kind of hit that rotation. And until you want to do that until your eyes vibrate. And that's what I do. Lily says, given your status as a famously poor person and someone alive during 2008, any advice on how to handle the absolute toilet trajectory the country is headed towards? I don't agree with that. I think that the country is heading in a more confident direction, more confident than it's ever been. It's confidently marching towards a new time in American history where we've never had like a king rule everything before, you know? And that's going to be fucking dope for a guy that looks like me. So I would just say if you look like me, you're pretty much set. If you don't look like me, I actually don't know what that feels like and can't help you. Rich says, I wanted to know if you have any advice for someone who feels stuck in life, and if you have any suggestions on how to change that. Yeah, I would ask your parents for more money. You've probably already tapped out your trust fund money, but I would just go back to them and ask them one more time, like, please, can I have 400K, 500K, 1 million if they believe in your project and your business enough. Just tell them that you've been really working on your business mindset and they should give you that money. Basil says, I don't need advice, but I wanted to say I hope your day and everyone else's is lovely and joyous. Well, I have to tell you that if you want my day to be lovely and joyous, but you want everybody else's day to be lovely and joyous, then none of us are going to have a lovely and joyous day because everyone's having the same day. There has to be disparity. Someone's got to have a shit day for me to have a good day, and that's what I live by. Manda says, hey Jared, it's me, Manda, and the only advice I need is how can you stop that feeling that everyone hates me, even though I know they don't. P.S. I love the solo pod and I'm looking forward to the next one. That feeling where everybody hates you is so common, and you don't have to be someone that walks around ruining every life that you touch, just kind of like stepping on everyone to get ahead. You don't even have to be that guy for everyone to hate you, because everybody hates me, and I don't even do that. So it's really common for you to feel that way, that like everybody hates you. And it has got nothing to do with them or you or them. It's got everything to do with them and not you, and they're projecting. So just remember that people are projecting on you all the time, and they won't stop projecting on you. They'll project all over you. And you know what you have to do back to them? I think you should go project on them. Go find one of them and project all over them, all over their face and neck. You know what I mean? And that's what I would do. Ethan says, longtime supporter and absolute lurker here. I have a bad tendency to be a total pushover in my life. How do you stand your ground with friends, family, and coworkers? Ethan, the best way to stop being a pushover pussy bitch is to start fist fighting people. I started fighting people every time I didn't get my way, and guess what? Nobody wants to talk to me anymore unless they're talking about money, okay? And I don't keep relationships around me with people who disagree with me, okay? That's too hard. That is a harder life to live. You need to work smarter, not harder. And you need to start hitting people when they disagree with you, Ethan. Matthew says, hey brother, advice on switching careers? I don't know what I want to get into. I make fantastic money, but it's absolutely soul crushing, so I want to move on. Yeah, here's the deal. Money is more important than your soul, okay? Always remember that. Money here, soul kind of down here. You know what I mean? So like, if you're making money, it doesn't matter what's happening to your soul, whether it's being crushed, torn apart, split open, bled dry, whether it's being hellraisered or not. You just need to worry about getting your bread up, stacking the most dough. That's what life is about, is getting to that next decimal point, you know, because you can buy all the things to make your life more comfortable. You know what I mean? Like if you're uncomfortable at your job, buy a beanbag chair for your apartment. So when you come home, you're comfortable in your apartment. There you go. Seapork says, every time I go out with friends or I'm at an event, I just want to go home and be alone. But when I'm home and alone, I'm sad there anyway. What do I do? Well, the answer is this. What gives? If you're at an event with friends, that means there's a high chance that there's bitches there. And life, aside from getting money, is about getting bitches. So go out and get your bitches. You know what I mean? And then you won't be sad at home alone. You'll be stoked at home with the company of a bitch. You know what I mean? Evan says, should I pick Charmander, Bulbasaur, or Squirtle? I assume that those are Bitcoins or NFTs. I think whichever has the highest yield and the least risk. And you're going to want to put a lot of your money, like most of your money, probably all of your eggs into that one basket. Squiddy says, hi Jared, longtime fan, first time caller. My GM at my job sucks ass, but I love everything else about my job. Do I stick it out or abandon ship? Listen, I think it's really important to move on from things that make you uncomfortable. Things that challenge you unnecessarily are stupid. Like I said, life is about bitches and money, and there's going to be new coworker bitches at your new job, and there's going to be new money at a new job. And you know what it's like when you do these startups. It's all about getting to a place in a startup where you can say you worked at a startup and had a position. Move on to another one, and it's just building that resume out, and giving yourself a good reason on your resume why you left that job. Like, oh my God, I left because I wanted to be challenged more. When really we know no one wants to be challenged ever. We want life to be easy, right? Bodge says, Guten Abend, Gerald. First time, long time. Not about to get into too much detail, but it's stuck. I'm out of butter and I'm scared of bending it too much. What do I do? Thanks in advance. Time may be of the essence here. Bodge, I got good news and bad news. Good news is, sounds like you got a hog on you. Bad news, I don't have any experience with that whatsoever. Mine goes in and out of things very easily. So I can't really help you there. My guess would be maybe like olive oil and butter because they have different smoke points. Meaty Baby says, hey Jared, how do I convince my husband who's allergic that we should get a puppy or a kitten? Well, what you gotta do is, you gotta decide, is your husband an alpha or a beta? He's probably not a sigma if he doesn't want a dog, right? So if he's an alpha, then he's gonna stand his ground and there's nothing you can do because a husband's job is to stand their ground on everything, regardless if they're right or wrong. Now, if he's a beta cuck, what you can do is just get the cat or dog, and he's not going anywhere because he's just happy to have female companionship. You know what I mean? So take advantage of that. Display name says, how do you cope with being apart from the people you love for long periods of time? I'm good most days, but some days everything hurts. Listen, the only way to fill that void is to fill it with other people. If you're away from the people that you love for a long period of time, go find new people who you love and replace those people who you're away from for a long time. You want to be surrounded by people that make you feel good, and the minute they stop making you feel good, you move on. You move on from them. You go through life moving on from the people who don't bring you the most value, because life is about value, money, and bitches. Jordan says, hey Jared, do you like EDM music? If so, who are your favorite artists? Are you into the rave scene at all, or have you been? Love you. Oh, I'm really into the rave scene. I love going to EDC every single year and getting fucking blasted off of a bunch of pills with a bunch of funny names and colors. That's my number one favorite thing to do when I'm not hitting my KPIs, when I'm not investing, when I'm not doing house hacks to make money off of commodifying housing for people. Though that's kind of one of my favorite things to do. And I like Muramasa. Summer says, I'm navigating grief and sobriety while also trying to be more confident in my 30s. I kind of don't want to touch that one with a 10-foot pole, but what I recommend you do is you move to Los Angeles, California, and just go fucking live on Venice Beach. It's fucking dope over there. Try to get yourself a job at like a weed store or something. It's fucking cool, and it's really sunny outside all the time. All right, that's all I got from KYLER Brantley to you. That was the advice column.
That was actually really gross, dude. I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. I just blacked out for a second, but that's all we have for this week's episode. In the meantime, tune in Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on idobi.com or the all-new idobi app. Pat, do you want to take this part? Nah, you've talked enough during this episode. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and subscribe to this here YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up or whatever Pat normally says to do during this part. Listen to Not My Weekend. They're on tour right now. You can go catch them at notmyweekend.com. Go buy some tickets to get their tour. They have some new songs out. Go stream them. You can listen to my band Rat Park whenever we decide that we're going to do some more stuff. Probably never. And then you can go and have fun. We're not really selling anything, so thanks for watching.
Okay, can I take this fucking shit off now?
Oh, you're telling me we should really ask them if they want to see a KYLER Brantley podcast? Well, I guess if you want to see a KYLER Brantley podcast, tell me in the comment. Okay, that's all the time we have. See you later. And that's a wrap. We're wrapping.
Yeah. We're done.
We're done. I
Nice.
think we did.
I think we did good.
I think we did good too.
Yeah.
What was it? How was the mic? Was the mic good? Was it in your face? Do you feel like you?
No, I think it was fine.
Think it was cool?
I mean, we'll find out when we play it back, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Lighting. How do you feel? I feel like you normally do lighting. Do you feel good? Like white light, red light.
Yeah.
Is it a little too much?
No, I don't think it was too much. I think it's fine.
No, like I feel like it's like film bro cinematic, but a guy who doesn't know how to do lighting. Like I was just really nervous about it the whole time.
No, I think the red adds a little bit of interest. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Yeah.
I just hope that it's like enough where like it distracts people from the new format because the camera quality is good or something like that. But
Yeah.
How do you feel like you did?
I feel like I did fine. I think, yeah.
Yeah, the one camera setup's a little bit different.
A little bit weird, but I think I warmed up to it. I think it's fine.
That's good.
Yeah, I think we did good.
How'd you feel like you did this week compared to last week?
Well, fine, because I was actually here this week. What do you mean?
Like you were actually here, like you like finally felt like you got into the groove of it?
I wasn't here filming last week.
Like mentally or
Physically,
did you feel checked out or were you sleepy or something? Like how do you maybe I'm asking this wrong. How did you feel about like your contribution to the episode this week versus last week?
Well, I was physically sitting in the chair here this week, so good.
Okay, well you were physically sitting in the chair both weeks. I don't know. Are you like is this like metaphorical? Could you just like talk plain to me? I'm getting really confused.
You used a blow up doll last week. I wasn't here.
What do you mean? I have it on camera. You were here this week and last week, Pat.
Why are you calling me Pat?
Because your middle name's Pat and you go by Pat even though your first name's John.
Do you really think I'm Pat?
No, I really think you're John, but I think you go by Pat. Well, I feel like not a lot of people call you Pat. I think I'm the guy who calls you Pat. I think do you normally go by Patrick with the rest of the people you know?
I'm really confused. I wasn't here last week.
Okay, whatever, man. Whatever you want to fucking whatever. You're doing your weird Pat thing. That's fine. Do you feel like you did good in this setting? Do you feel like if we did this again, you'd feel comfortable?
Yeah, but you know this is a wig, right? Like you just gave me Pat's clothes. Like I'm not.
I have assumed that your hair has been a wig this entire time because you're balding so aggressively. But
okay, babe.
Cool it with the babe. No that's making me mad uncomfortable. You don't need to do all that. I'm really like just technically asking you a question if you think we did all right. That's it. You don't need to be weird about it.
I think we did fine, but you don't.
Thank you. Okay, well then I think we can probably wrap up cameras and stuff and. I don't know if you want me to drive you back to your place or do you wanna like grab food somewhere or something? Like what do you want to do?
I mean, yeah, I want to grab food, but I'm staying here.
I don't really feel like I have you can probably crash on the couch, I guess. We just used those blankets outside for like a movie night thing, so they might be damp, but I guess so.
I'm not.
I guess so.
Pat's on tour. You know, it's me. Your girlfriend, it's me. This is a wig.
Are you doing a bit right now?
Are you doing a bit right now?
I feel like you're doing a bit right now.
I feel like you're doing a bit right now.
If you're doing a bit, you should save it for the episode next week. If you're doing a bit, you should save it. I always like how many times do I got to tell you? If you're gonna do a bit, let me in on it, and do it like during the main episode. You know?
You're not serious right now.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
I just don't like being surprised with bits because I can't participate. That's it.
You organised this bit. I was with you.
What bit?
You were with me when we bought the wig.
What wig?
This wig.
I was with Kiara when we.
Yeah, me. I'm Kiara. I'm not Pat.
This is I wish you would have saved this for the episode. This is. I can see where this would be funny, but like that. But you. Why did you wait until the episode was over?
I don't get what you're doing right now.
You're being weird.
You're being weird. Why are you doing this?
Is this a ploy to try to get with me? You're trying to pretend you're my girlfriend because you have the same nose?
I am. Okay. You know what? Fuck you. You know what?
Love you, bye.